I think I'm supposed to be someone special. No one told me that exactly, but I can feel it, like a secret buzzing in my chest that only I can hear. When teachers ask what I want to be, I tell them I haven't decided yet, because choosing one thing feels too small for me. I'm pretty sure I'm meant for something big, though I don't know what shape it has yet. I wait for the world to notice me, the way sunlight notices dust in the air and makes it sparkle. Everyone else is busy learning multiplication or tying their shoes faster, but I'm waiting for inspiration. I sit by the window and watch the sky change colors and think, maybe today is the day I'll figure out my gift. I don't really want to do the boring things kids do. I think those things are for people who don't have talent. I have talent. I don't know which kind, but I can feel it, like a warm coin in my pocket. It makes me feel different from other kids. They run around because they're supposed to. I walk slowly because geniuses don't rush. My mom says I need to help more around the house, but I don't want to because I'm scared doing simple things will make me simple too. I don't want to fold laundry and wash dishes and end up like grown-ups who talk about bills and weather and nothing else. I want a life that looks like the scenes in movies where someone discovers their destiny and everyone gasps. I imagine that for me all the time. A day when someone important sees me and says, "There you are." I think being talented means you don't have to try too hard, because trying feels like admitting you're ordinary. Ordinary people practice. Ordinary people do chores. Ordinary people get good grades by sitting with books for hours. I want to get everything easily. I want ideas to show up in my head without me hunting for them. When I draw, I stop if it's not perfect right away. Right? I get angry at the paper like it betrayed me, and I throw it out. My teacher says I just need to work harder, but I don't want to hear that. If I'm really special, shouldn't it just happen? Sometimes I worry, in a tiny way, that maybe I'm not as brilliant as I feel, but then I tell myself geniuses doubt themselves too. That's probably a sign I'm on the right path. I watch adults with boring jobs and think, I will never do something like that. I imagine older me living in a studio with big windows, writing books that make people cry, or painting something that ends up in a museum without me even trying to get it there. I imagine walking on stage and people knowing my name before I say it. I imagine interviews where I say things like, I always knew I had something inside me. I don't know how I'll get there, but I'm not worried. I'll wait until the ideas come. I'll wait for someone to find me. I'll wait for the moment that proves all of this wasn't just imagination. Sometimes late at night, I whisper promises to myself. I'll never waste my life on small things. I'll never have a job that makes me tired. I'll never bend for anyone or settle for something normal. I'll never forget that I'm meant for more. I don't know how adults forget what they wanted. I don't think I ever will. I think the universe sees me. I think it's preparing my chance. I just have to be patient and not get distracted by dumb stuff like homework and responsibilities and things that don't matter. My life will start when the big moment comes. I'm sure of it. I don't need to do anything yet. I just need to wait.
I spent most of my life waiting for a moment that never introduced itself. I kept thinking there would be a sign, something unmistakable that would tell me it was time to begin. But days just kept slipping by without any dramatic music or bright lights. I thought talent would pull me forward, like a rope tied around my waist. But it turns out talent without discipline is just a story you tell yourself to feel less scared. My first real choice wasn't about art or glory. It was taking a job I didn't want because I needed to pay rent. I told myself it was temporary, a filler chapter before the real one arrived, but it stretched into years while I kept waiting for inspiration to tap me on the shoulder. I kept holding on to the idea that I was too good for simple work, and yet simple work is all I ever did, not because I was ordinary, but because I never stayed with anything long enough to become extraordinary. I skipped chances because they weren't perfect. I ignored opportunities because they felt too small. I told myself I was meant for more, but I never learned the skill of doing less well enough to climb anywhere. And the funny thing is, the world gave me thousands of tiny openings, collaborations, courses, small projects, but they felt beneath me at the time, so I let them pass. They weren't beneath me. I was just afraid to fail where people could see. I kept waiting for certainty, for confidence, for a clean beginning. Meanwhile, other people no more talented than I was, kept showing up, kept practicing, kept saying yes to things they weren't ready for. I used to call them lucky. Now I know they were simply brave in a way I wasn't. The drift didn't happen in a single moment. It was gradual, quiet, like dust settling on furniture. I stopped writing because my ideas felt flat. I stopped drawing because my hand cramped after 5 minutes. One day I realized I hadn't created anything in years. I hadn't even tried. I'd become someone who lives on memories of things he never actually did. And the thing about time is that it doesn't argue with you. It doesn't say, try again, or you're wasting me. It just keeps moving. I kept imagining my future self giving interviews about perseverance. But instead I became the version who sits alone in the kitchen at night, stirring tea that's gone cold, thinking about all the evenings I said I'd start tomorrow. I don't resent the world for not discovering me. The world can't discover someone who stays hidden. What I feel instead is a gentle ache for all the smaller chances I ignored because they weren't grand enough. The workshop I never signed up for, the job I quit too early, the friend who invited me to collaborate before we drifted apart. None of them were the big break I fantasized about, but together they could have been a ladder. I didn't see that at the time. I thought the universe owed me something, some proof that I was special. But now I understand the only thing it ever owed me was time, and I spent most of it waiting instead of using it. I still have mornings, quiet ones, where I sit with my coffee and feel a softness toward who I used to be, that child who wanted greatness, but didn't yet know how much of greatness is simply patience and repetition. I don't judge him. He didn't know better, and I didn't teach him. If I could talk to him now, I wouldn't say, work harder or don't waste your life. I'd just tell him that talent is real, but it's not magic. It's a seed, not a gift, and seeds only matter if you plant them. I don't know if it would have changed his path. Maybe he needed to learn it the way I did. Slowly, quietly, too late to start over, but not too late to understand. So here I am, at the end of a life that never quite happened the way I imagined it, sitting with the knowledge that my chances weren't stolen. They just passed by while I was looking the other way. And if someone younger ever listens to this, I'm not asking them to do anything. I'm just saying, this is what it looks like when you wait for a moment that never comes, and how strangely peaceful it feels to finally stop waiting. I don't know what you'll do with your own time. I just hope you don't wait for permission the way I did. Life doesn't announce itself. It just happens, and it's quieter than you think.